Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Rising. Saagar, what are we doing today?
Well, we've got a great show today. We have David Pakman, the progressive YouTuber, is going to tell us about Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. Asia expert Gordon Chang to talk about Hong Kong and the China tariff situation. And, of course, Team Rising to break down some very interesting new polling. All that coming up today on Rising.
Saagar, my friend, what are you looking at?
Oh, it's just another day, and it's another gaffe from Joe Biden. Biden faces a tough news cycle after the Iowa State Fair, with 3 prominent gaffes in just a matter of days. He claimed to have been vice president during the Parkland shooting, then later said he meant Newtown. He said that poor kids are just as bright and talented as white kids, later explaining he misspoke. Earlier that very day, he said he chooses truth over facts. All of this right after he said that Margaret Thatcher was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He's doing such a terrible job, his own spokeswoman had to go over to her former employer at CNN for a segment blaming the media for covering a non-story. Let's take a listen.
But I just think meeting this moment that we're in requires all of us to elevate our conversation. And if we're going to elevate the conversation, we cannot allow this election to devolve in a tit for tat over name calling and quote unquote gaffes. If you put a camera in somebody's face and a microphone on them and you follow them around for 100 days, any one of us, I'm pretty sure we would be caught with a slip of the tongue. We would be caught making a mistake. The difference is Vice President Biden every single time has immediately corrected himself.
Elevate the conversation. Sorry, Simone. The truth is that this is a lot bigger than Biden's gaffes, actually. This isn't because Biden is old. He's been a known gaffe machine long before his twilight years set in. Worse still, though, are the things that Biden is trying to say when he actually slips up. His lackluster stump speech in Iowa was full of phrases like how President Trump is an existential threat to the United States. Does that sound familiar? The ghost of Hillary Clinton is haunting this election. He seems truly unable to excite anyone over the age of 75. Just yesterday, the Iowa Democratic chair told us that Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren had huge crowds at the state fair. Maybe because they stand for something that is actually forward-looking. When reporters trailed him after one of his speeches at the fair this weekend, asking if he was still the frontrunner, he snapped, according to BuzzFeed News. He said, "You just want me to say the words so I sound like everybody else. I'm not everybody else. I'm Joe Biden. I've always been who I am. I'm staying that way." Well, Joe, on that, I agree with you, and it's why it's becoming clearer every day that he stands an incredibly good chance of losing to Donald Trump. And Crystal, I mean, this wasn't the only thing that happened in Iowa. These gaffes. He apparently didn't even know how much time he had to speak during one of his stump speeches. He was met with not that much enthusiasm at the wing ding or at the soapbox, and it's extremely clear where the energy in the party and for the base is. And this is sad. I mean, trotting your spokeswoman out on TV to say gaffes don't matter. When she worked for Bernie Sanders, you think she would have said the same thing? There's no chance.
Yeah, I watched his whole soapbox speech at the Iowa State Fair. And first of all, you're right. He got up there and he was like, I only have 5 minutes. Yeah. Well, he actually had 20 minutes. So he rushes through like this rush thing. And then he's like, how much time have they got left? They're like, 15 minutes, sir. And he's like, 15 seconds? No, 15 minutes. It was so bad. And after watching that speech, I said to myself, oh my God, he's not just Hillary Clinton 2.0, he's actually worse. Because whatever you think of Hillary Clinton, and I've been very critical, at least she was prepared, right? She would never have gotten up at that soapbox speech and had nothing prepared, rushed through a bunch of like talking points, litany that I couldn't even tell you what he said. I mean, at least she was ready for battle. This is a mess. And you also know, if he hadn't been the Vice President Barack Obama for 8 years, there is no way he would be polling at more than 1%.
He's not a talented politician. I mean, he's got an authenticity to him, and the truth is that so many people in this town feel reverence towards him just because they've known him for so long, Amtrak Joe, that we can't watch those debate performances and his lackluster speech and all this and just go, what is going on here? I mean, during that debate, who gives back time during a debate? I can't let it go. There's no politician on earth that does that. And we're all just like, oh, Joe Biden had a medium performance. Yeah, I mean, it's a disaster. I just don't understand it.
I would just urge anyone who is supporting Biden right now, look, there's a lot to admire about his personal characteristics, about the life that he's led. All of that is true. However, just really watch and listen and ask yourself if this is the person who can beat Donald Trump, because I just don't see it.
Couldn't agree with you more.